Welcome to Master the Science of Business, WMSB Radio, where mastering the science of business is our business, because we know it's our time to shine, bringing to you live successful business owners from around the world, sharing best and worst business practices so that you and I can avoid the pitfalls that may lead to failure and benefit from the wisdom of their success. It's our time to shine, y'all. MasterTheScienceOfBusiness.com.
Are you looking for ways to make your work environment more productive? Would you like for your coworkers to get along better with each other? Do you want your employees to actually work as a cohesive team? Would you like to overcome your fear of public speaking? Contact Falau Worldwide Seminars, your company's personal training department. You can reach us at 404-438-3156 to schedule a 15-minute complimentary communication coaching assessment session. That's 404-438-3156. Falau Worldwide.
Welcome to Soul Wisdom International, where we specialize in building the human spirit. Can you imagine yourself completely free to be, think, and explore all the possibilities of being happy? What if I told you all of that is possible and even more? Would you be willing to no longer be triggered by those issues and have the experience of life you wanted? If you've answered yes, then you may be ready to take the next step. Call for your complimentary 30-minute assessment today. 404-541-0889.
More awareness now. Have you ever thought, man, if I only knew then what I know now, things would be different. If I had more awareness now, I would have invested my time, my money, my energy or currency more wisely with more awareness now. The time is now to join More Awareness Now. Discover, channel, utilize passion to profit from third eye mind mapping to purposefully position profits from passion proficiently. We're talking about producing power, concretizing vision with more awareness now. Current members are saying, I'm so grateful for the opportunity to man up with more awareness now. My vision is clearer. I'm motivated now with clear direction on my progress. And my progress is phenomenal with moreawarenessnow.com. Or call 404-913-0260. That's 404-913-0260. Phenomenal, 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 phenomenal. Okay, welcome to Mind and Money Matters Live Show. Yes, we are here with yet another episode, the last episode, y'all, of the Ministry of Health and Human Services. We are here representing the Ministry of Trade and Commerce, and we are referred to as Master the Science of Business Entities, LLC, Mind and Money Matters Live Show. And yes, we as a media network, Mind and Money Matters Live Show highlights business science solutions. So those of us who are in business, who are striving to do business, who are thinking about doing business, who are doing business, doing it well, and looking to take it to the next level, we are talking to you. We are talking to those who particularly are on that side. You know, we coined the term sidepreneurs. That's those of us who have that temporary job and we are working this business on the side, looking forward to the opportunity to becoming 100% full-fledged entrepreneurs. So each and every week, we bring to you business owners to share with us their successes, their trials and tribulations, and they are giving us the tips to help us avoid the pitfalls and benefit from the wisdom of their success. We come from Message to the Black Woman on page 174, where the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us about the economic blueprint. And it starts off with pooling resources, and as a team, a unit, a partnership of Master the Science of Business, myself, Brother Jahi, and Sister Sandy have joined together to give us some tips on how to be a successful partnership. And with us today, we have our guests who have been with us for the past month, this whole month, the month of Health and Human Services. They will be back for one more episode to share with us their best and worst practices, and because we want to learn from the mistakes of others so we don't have to repeat them. We can hopefully just create some new ones, right? And then benefit from the wisdom of their success. So what we will do is go straight into our program with, I'm going to introduce to you our dear beloved Brother Jahi, Mr. Communicator Muhammad. We refer to him as our human GPS, our fact finder. He's the one, like, Brother Jahi, do you know such so and so? He gets that information. He is that person, that personnel organizer and trainer. He is the founder of Proper Propaganda Promotions and Follow Worldwide Seminars and Training. We call him our very own logo file. That's that individual who is a lover of words, Brother Jahi, Mr. Communicator Muhammad. Please present us with the Follow Worldwide Word on the Block.
Assalamu alaikum, business scientists. Is my mic on? Can y'all hear me?
Your mic sounds nice.
I am back.
That's like a blast from the past, Sister
Sandy. Right. We used to have to do that when we couldn't see each other. My mic on? Can y'all hear me? Is this thing on? But now with the visuals, we hear you. You see me. We're business scientists. Welcome back to another Mind and Money Matters live show. Unfortunately, I wasn't here visually last week, but I was able to participate in another way. But we're back again this week. And as Sister Shireen and Sister Sandy titled this segment, Follow Worldwide Word on the Street, my word for the week. And this is also a business tip for anyone that is in business, is contemplating going in business, or any of those good things. One of the characteristics of a business person, and as a person in life, period, is to be resilient. Resilient is the word of the week.
I like that one.
Oh, yeah. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from tragedy, disappointments, things that don't go quite right. And guess what? Things are not going to go quite the way you planned it, and I planned it all the time. So are we going to let that break us? Are we going to let that, you're going to curl up into a ball and cry and not do anything else about it? No, resilience is summoning your inner strength, calling on the God first, summoning your inner strength, and coming up with alternative solution or another perspective to whatever the situation that you're dealing with. As you all see, I'm in an unusual, different background.
No, we cannot tell. It looks like you are at Cafe Ulu, so you might as well go on with that spiel. That is Cafe Ulu.
No, this is not Cafe Ulu. I'm in some unknown city in some unknown state on my way up the East Coast, but couldn't quite get there, so had to make other arrangements. So I am here, and by God's grace, we're able to tune in and be a part of the show. So resilience, suck it up, take it, not just suck it up. I know it depends on what it is, but yeah, you have to look at what the lesson is in that change and learn from it and if all possible, capitalize on it. You know, you learn some stuff like, okay, I know not to do that again. So with this, I know not to do this particular situation again. But we're here. That's the good thing that we were able to tune in. So as you all know, every week on this segment, I talk about there's three things I'm going to always talk about. You're going to always hear me say. Number one, economicblueprint.org. Economicblueprint.org. 5 cents a day, 35 cents a week, $1.40 a month, $18.20 a year. 16 million of us as wage earners contribute to the economicblueprint.org that will put $291,200,000 into the coffers where we're able to do more for self, buy more land, buy the resources needed in order to turn that land into a viable business option. For those who are listening and say, well, black folk don't do this, black folk don't do that, that's not true. We do pull together. You can see it in so many different perspectives. It's all in how you look at it. So those of you who are listening, you have an economic stake in your community. Just go to economicblueprint.org and make your weekly contribution, your daily contribution, or even your yearly contribution. And if you are able to, like our sister Shireen Muhammad, she makes the yearly contribution on a monthly basis because she really has a vested interest, like all of us, in seeing us doing for self as a community. And economicblueprint.org. Also, you must get a copy of the latest issue of the Final Call newspaper. This one is Hurricane Brings Hell and High Water. As you all know, last week in the South Carolina and North Carolina. North Carolina, I think, got hit the hardest. A lot of our people went through or going through, because it's not over with. They were still feeling the effects of the Hurricane Florence that came, and I happen to be in South Carolina now. The effects of the hurricane coming through this area and in North Carolina. But there's some dynamic informational articles in the Final Call newspaper dealing with that, so you want to keep abreast of it. But there's an article in particular that I want you all to go to the Final Call and read. It is called, I had it, this one right here. It's called A Memo to Alan Dershowitz. A Memo to Alan Dershowitz, written by our good brother Jackie R. Muhammad out of Atlanta, Georgia, by way of Washington, D.C., by way of South Carolina. Brother Jackie is on the research team of the Nation of Islam, and he has a dynamic way. I love his writing style, but he clapped back, if you will, to Alan Dershowitz. Alan Dershowitz is he's a professor of law, I believe, at Harvard University or Yale, one of those Ivy League schools, but he's a Jewish civil libertarian. And Alan Dershowitz has been saying some reckless things about our leader, teacher, and guide, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And reckless in the sense that they're not true, they're just flat out lies and some half truths. Alan Dershowitz, but you got to go read the article. It's on page 17 in the latest issue of the Final Call, and Brother Jackie uses his skill as a writer and a researcher to highlight the great works that our brother minister, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, has been doing, and they want to attack him on the basis. It's like what the scripture says, what Jesus says, which of my good works do you hate me for? So I need all of you all, if you're not familiar with the works of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and his teacher, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you definitely want to pick up a copy of this newspaper, the Final Call newspaper, to help you get a better understanding. It is the impetus of the work that we're doing to bring enlightenment to the community, not just by talking about things, but by doing things. That's why we're doing this platform. Oh, fantastic. Thank you for that. There you go. A copy of the latest issue. And the new issue of the Final Call does come out tomorrow. Brother Richard and Brother Fontaine and the hardworking staff at the Final Call are vigorously putting it together right now. So it will be on the press tonight and on the streets tomorrow for all of you to pick up. So those are,
and if you have the subscription, you know, you can go online and subscribe, and it is just $4.99. $4.99 a month.
Yep.
That's it.
A month. Yes.
So you can get your subscription, and then you have access to the paper immediately.
You get it immediately, right? You get it tonight.
This is what it looks like. You have it right now.
Beautiful,
like,
beautiful.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry, I meant the new issue when the new issue comes out.
Oh yeah, right.
You get it. That's what I meant by that. But yeah, you always have access to this, and you go to finalcalldigital.com to subscribe for that subscription that Sister Shireen was talking about. And last but not least, this is a business-oriented platform, podcast, and we have clients that are hiring. So any of you that are listening and you're in the Atlanta metropolitan area and you have skills in the area of customer service, landscaping, security, crowd control, please contact us at Atlanta. That's the whole word Atlanta, jobs 2019@gmail.com. If you have a resume, you can send your resume. If you don't have a resume, but you're interested in immediate employment in the fields of customer service, landscaping, security, crowd control, please email us your interest. Say, my name is, and my telephone number is, and we will contact you. We have clients that are hiring right this moment. They're looking for people who are willing to learn. Even if you don't know those particular things, if you don't know those particular aspects, they're willing to teach. You just have to have the desire to do. So I think that's it for right now from Falah Worldwide. Word on the street. Remember, the word of the week is resilience, the ability to bounce back from situations other than what you thought they were going to be or that you hoped that they would be. So it is my pleasure to always introduce I had a fancy name last week that I found. I wrote it down, but I don't have that notebook with me, for our energy healer practitioner. I mean, it was a nice, big, multi-syllabic word too.
That's okay. Loved it. You can use it. You can do it next week. It'll still be good.
Right.
But she's the one. She is the healer among us. As you can tell by her energy, her always vibrant energy, that she has a gift, and she is utilizing that gift that God gave her to help heal the community. So without any further delay, it's my honor to bring up my co-partner, my co-host on Mind and Money Matters live show, Sister Sandy Buford Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. I am always, always, always in awe, whether Brother Jahi has the words or not. It's just really heart touching every single week, and you would think by now, as many times as we've done this, that it gets old. But I'll tell you, when we introduce each other, it's just the love that we have for each other and the honor and the respect that we have. It's amazing to me. So what's up? Assalamu alaikum, Hotep, Ashe, Namaste, all of that good stuff. I'm gonna read real briefly. You all know what I do. As soon as I come on, statements or show topics are not necessarily the beliefs or of Mind and Money Matters live show. The material provided by Mind and Money Matters Radio is for educational purposes only. Mind and Money Matters live show does not warrant or guarantee the accuracy, the adequacy, quality, validity, completeness, or suitability of any information for any purpose. Listener is encouraged to do their own research. Okay. All right. So as you can see, I'm not at my usual place. I'm in motion because I wanted to do a little something special today, y'all. I'm gonna do that in 1 second. He gonna get mad at me, but I came and I told him I'm gonna do this. So, but before I do that, some phenomenal things that are going on in Soul Wisdom International. We've got 2 workshops that are coming up once a month. There's one coming up October the 4th, which is for bars, access consciousness. That's where you touch you touch nerve endings on the head, which correlate to specific emotions, your points of views about life, to uncreate and destroy that stuff which is no longer beneficial to you. You're welcome to go online. There's a lot of information about it. We offer those training classes for you. It's called BARS, B-A-R-S, or Access Consciousness. We also have the Reiki classes coming up once a month. That will be on October the 15th. If you're not familiar with what Reiki is, it helps to move energy throughout the body. It also has been very, very beneficial for those who have been suffering from depression, women issues, feminine issues, masculine issues, a whole wide range that Reiki addresses. And in the medical arena, it's being accepted more and more and more. So we do have those classes coming up. You're welcome to go to Soul Wisdom INTL on the Facebook page, or you can email me at soulwisdom2@gmail.com. Okay, so Brother Jahi, I think you know where I'm at. I think you know where I'm at. I'm gonna pan around.
I don't recognize.
He's gonna say, look, he's telling me, look, look at my buddy right here. I said I was
you at that, okay.
At the West End
Print Shop.
Yes, that's Brother Jahi. I told him I wanted to just drop in here real quick and give him a shout out.
Absolutely.
Listen, we got to have him on the show, y'all. I remember when he moved.
I don't know. He's too busy. He's too busy for us.
Look, but this is what you have to do. You just have to bum rush him just like this. And then thank you so much.
But look, you're a female, so he'll allow you to do that. He wants.
Listen, I just wanted to do that today, y'all. Just briefly. I remember when Brother started in a cubicle right next door to here. He had one copier machine. And he was doing that thing. The customer service was phenomenal. Yeah. And now look at where he's moved to, y'all. Look at this.
And he's outgrown that place. He needs a bigger spot.
He has outgrown this place. I knew you would know exactly where I was, Brother Jahi.
Oh, yes, yes. As you mentioned, when he was in that little space next door to there, I remember he had one copier, but Ralph has always employed young people in the community too. Yes. He has a lot of college students and high school students that he employs. He takes them through the process. You know, it used to be Kinko's back in the day. I worked at Kinko's for like 2 or 3 hours, long time ago.
Yes.
When I was younger, but Ralph is filling that void in the community.
I'm telling you, and the community loves him.
And the community supports him very well. Absolutely. I spend about $500-600 a month in there myself.
Yeah, you and me both, Brother Jahi. That's why I wanted to give him a shout out real quick. And I wanted to just show one other thing. He's over here at the West End. He's at 96964C, Ralph David Abernathy.
Right next door to the Shrine of the Black Madonna.
Yes, right next to the Ace Hardware store, right here in our neighborhood. He has grown. Maybe one day, you know, he can buy this whole building, right? And I want to show you one last thing. You know, some of those in our community still don't have computers, don't have access to the internet. And he makes sure in our community, you see this? I don't know how to turn the computer around real quick.
No, we see it.
Always the most up-to-date software for the community to be able to come in, and inexpensive to do what they need to do so that they can still look professional whatever it is they need to do. So I'm
surprised, Sandy, because those stations are usually always packed when I go in there.
I think we are approaching closing time, so you know how people they try to get in early and get it all done so they can finish what they need to. But I just wanted to give a quick shout out.
That's all right.
And I thought maybe, you know, to add to Brother Jahi Word on the Block, I did the best I could last week, Brother Jahi, with Word on the Block. So I figured at least maybe.
No, you did great. Remember, I was watching. I just couldn't talk. But I was watching you. Both of you all did a fantastic job. Our special guest co-host, Brother Reginald and Sister Christina, always do an outstanding job, as well as our guests. Who do we have last week that was absolutely phenomenal?
We had the couple.
Oh, Brother Scott and his wife. Yes, Scott and Muhammad. I mean, you're talking about a a god in agriculture among us.
Yes,
That
yes.
brother, he is dedicated to that
My,
aspect. Oh yes, yes. Every time I talk to brother,
I just figured where I come from right on the block today. Since I did the best I could.
That's a
I
good.
had to get on the
This
block
is a good
today.
No, she did an excellent job last.
That's a good segment. So I know she did. I was watching. Now, see, but what you doing this, Sister Sandy? This is going to be your regular motif now.
Yes,
You're gonna
yes.
always have to
I
be.
like it. I like that. I
I
like
like
that.
it
I
too.
like
I like it too. That's what we do. Mind and Money Matters live show. We promote Black businesses and encourage entrepreneurship. That's what we do.
So what is
praise.
the location of the business again? Repeat that.
Yes, yes, ma'am. It's 964 Suite C, Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard, right across from the Watkins Funeral Home, the historic. Maybe one day I will go over there. We can have them on the air too. They have been a staple in the community.
That's right.
And we love and we respect them, do phenomenal services. So that'll be one of the.
What is the name? And what is the name of this establishment?
West End Print Shop. West End Print Shop.
Okay.
West End, right there next to the Shrine of the Black Madonna, and between the Shrine of the Black Madonna and Ace Hardware Store.
Yes.
Can't
Right
miss.
here, y'all.
Across the street from Willie Watkins Funeral Home.
Yes, yes.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Beautiful.
So that's it for me, y'all. Love you, love you, love you. I'm excited about the
Thank
show
you so
today.
much. That was fantastic.
Awesome.
Sister Sandy, full of surprises. You gonna let them know about little sweet Khadijah, Sister Sandy?
Look, got so excited. Okay. Oh, yes. Yeah.
All I could do is just laugh, like.
Let me tell you. Oh my God. Okay. So you see this beautiful backdrop behind us, right? Sister Shireen, you're gonna pull up our beautiful sister, our beautiful little sweet Khadijah, as we talk about this sweet little Khadijah who knows and produces and prepares all things sweet. There she is. She skips from one thing to the other. She's always educating our baby. She's always doing something, working in the community. Let me tell y'all, last week, y'all heard about our brother and our sister talking about our brother Scott and sister. Please, I can't remember. He was on the floor. Yes. Sister Erica. They talked about our beloved sister Shireen. My God, I mean, I learned a lot. Sister Shireen, who's the author of My Little Sweet Khadijah, as well as Why I Wear My Headpiece, as well as Little Elijah. She's actually in the community, y'all. These babies love her. This ain't no put on. What you see here on the show, Brother Jaheem, myself, and Sister Shireen, we are really out in the community. When you don't see us here, then this is what we're doing. Oh, look at here. We got somebody else. Yes. Tune in live. This is Mind Money Matter Show. We Facebook Live every Monday. And I need you to tune in and tell all your friends. Tune in, okay? I'll make sure you get the link to tune in and share it.
You were talking about Reiki, right?
Oh yes, ma'am. Okay. I'm gonna talk to you about that. Let me do this real quick.
Hey guys, I don't live in the community, but I just come to the community.
So we got just
beautiful. So beautiful. That's what I'm talking about. That's all right.
We talking about our beloved sister Shireen right now. She is actually in the community. The same way sister just walked up to me, the babies walk up to Sister Shireen and go, well, tell me, can little Elijah tell me about how to grow some corn? Tell me how to grow. I want to know. They love Sister Shireen. Who takes time out of their schedule to go and visit the babies? Our partner. Our co-partner, Sister Shireen, we love her and we adore her. She's passionate about what it is that she's doing. If you know of a book fair that's coming up, make sure you hit us up so we can make sure that our beloved Sister Shireen is there, letting the world know about the products that she has, her passion, her love that she has, and it's real. My sister, your sister, our partner, Sister Shireen Muhammad.
Praise be to Allah. Woo, what an introduction like that. Good God Almighty. I have a lot to live up to, y'all. I'm just want to just say I'm thankful, I'm grateful, and just share with you how to man up uplift your business, bring it to the next level with more awareness now. Keep your ear to the ground, always looking for opportunities, staying focused on what it is that you're doing, because, you know, as small business owners, we get a lot of different things coming across our desk. You know, there's a lot of different invitations that's like, you can come here, join us over here, this is the opportunity over here. You have to make sure that it fits into what it is that you're doing. So know that when you have your business plan and it's out and it's before you, make it your focus. Make that your agenda. You have your method, your plan, and your program that you put together, inshallah. Then you know, okay, these are my action steps, steps 1, 2, and 3. Because as you become more and more gifted and talented at what it is that you're doing, then you have to begin to be more and more focused about what it is that you're doing, and know how to say, well, no, that's not quite the next step. I have this on my action step. These are the things that I have to focus on because I'm building towards this goal. Now, if you do a reevaluation and determine that your action steps require modification, then go ahead and modify, change it, and then do what it is that you need to do. But don't allow yourself to get off track where you are now not following your goals, not meeting your deadlines, because that will make it so that your business plan won't actualize, you know, and that's the goal. So that's the Man Up, More Awareness Now, Uplifting Profitability word on the block. We're going to go right into our next guest. Brother Jahi, are you ready to bring up our guest co-host?
I am ready. You know, we are privileged to have them as our special guest co-host for the entire month of September, while they have brought us so much useful information. That is our big brother, Brother Reginald Muhammad, and his dynamic wife, the fireball, the energy, Sister Christina Muhammad of the 10,000 Fearless First Responders team based in Austin, Texas. But as you all that have tuned in for the last 3-4 weeks know, that they go everywhere. They're definitely teachers in the community. I understand that from the show, from Mind and Money Matters live show, a lot of you have reached out to them to invite them to your city, so they can give us pointers or teach pointers on first responders and CERT, community emergency response team certification, all of those good things that we need as a community and as a nation. So please help welcome back. Man, I'm gonna miss them. For the last show, as we talk about health and human the Ministry of Health and Human Services, Brother Reginald Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam, brother. How you doing?
Oh, we're doing fantastic. Thank you for being able to carve out some time to come back and join us and share the information that you have to share.
Yes, sir.
All right.
So what's going on? What's going on in your area? What are you all responding to?
Right now, we are dealing with a neighbor to neighbor situation where a neighbor actually got mad at another neighbor on a business deal, and he got mad on the business deal, and he basically shot him and killed him.
Oh
wow!
Just because hold on for a minute. Hold on.
Wow.
I mean, this is the inner city emergency response team out of Dallas. And out of Austin, Texas. And they are a part of the 10,000 Fearless that the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan has asked us to implement in our cities, making our cities safe and making it A
safe
decent,
and decent
safe
place
and
to live.
decent place to live.
So yes, sir, Brother Reginald.
Wow.
Go
So
right
that's
ahead.
interesting, Brother
So,
Reginald. You all respond to those types of situations too,
oh,
not just like
absolutely.
so I'm glad you brought that up because not just like the weather related type of emergencies, it's anything that's going on in the community and they reach
Absolutely.
out to you all. Okay, so you were telling us about the story about a business deal going bad and one of the neighbors took extreme measures to, I guess in their mind, resolve it.
Yes, sir. So I wouldn't really, you could say a business deal, but it was a friendly kind of, hey man, can you do something for me, such as cutting grass? I
Mm.
give you a quote, and you say no. I don't like that quote. So then you come back and we have words, and then you leave and go home. Well, you being a neighbor, the man lived one house over from you. You being a neighbor's like, look, man, I ain't gonna part on a aberrated way. So I'm gonna go back and apologize and see if we can work something out. Well, when he went back and apologized and tried to work something out, the man shot him 3 times in the chest.
Wow.
Being that as it may, so now the community, it's a small town, outside of Austin. So being that as it may, the town is in an uproar because it was a white and black situation.
Okay.
So now, we're trying to check motives. We're trying to check all that kind of stuff. So, it was so crazy that, and this happened a week ago. And it was so crazy because now the neighbor who actually lived there had to leave town. It was him, his wife, and his son. It's the white guy. Him, his wife, and his son. And his son is like old enough to go to like high school, I guess. They had to, I ain't gonna say move out, but they had to at least leave the home because the ruckus from the neighbors, from the surrounding neighbors, was getting so crazy and getting so live that they had to vacate the premises.
Wow.
For a moment anyway.
Wow.
So yes, sir, we respond to everything because here in the city of Austin, Texas is an open carry.
Yeah, right.
Texas is an open carry because we respond to placement, we respond to cases, we respond to domestic disputes, all of the above.
Wow.
We take on everything because there's members of our team that deal and came out of that realm of work society that's what they did. So we have them on our team. So when they when your job case come up, you handle that and you do it to the best of your ability.
Wow.
Wow. I'm at a loss for words.
Well, I thank you for bringing that up. Really.
Yes. Am I still there, bro?
Yes, sir. You there?
Yes. We hear you. Can you hear us?
So yes, ma'am. It was that crazy. It was that crazy. So
yeah, you're going in and out though, Brother Reginald. Yeah, he's going in and out.
Right, because he's in motion. I'm sure he's going through some dead cell areas. Wow. But what this highlights.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So that's what we're dealing with.
What it highlights is exactly the need that we have in the community that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan put forth in 2015 at 10/10/15 for us to come back and set up the 10,000 Fearless headquarters or 10,000 Fearless offices around the country. And I want to commend them. They may not, I don't know if Brother Reginald can hear me, but I definitely want to commend them for having that organizational structure and that the word is getting out because the community knew and knows to call you all in order to help with the resolution, to help to bring things back into perspective before it gets too far gone as it already has.
Yes, sir. So like I said, we respond to all kinds of stuff. So given that as it may, the 10,000 Fearless First Responders is not only just a first responder group as far as natural disasters. Right. We do man-made disasters as well. So that's what's so good about us. We do both, and that's what we're trained in. So when you're trained in something like that, we handle both things. I don't know if y'all heard here in Austin, in Texas in particular, but in Austin in particular, we had a a bombing here too.
Yes, sir. Yeah, the young brother. The young brother.
Right. No. It wasn't a brother. It was actually it was a white guy. And he bombed the people in Austin, but he lived in Pflugerville.
Wow.
We responded to those kind of things too. So, you know, we get trained by officials like law enforcement. You know, we get trained from SWAT. We get trained from all kind of areas to do what we do.
Right. I was saying, wasn't it a young brother who's a musician that was one of the victims of the bombing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And one of the guy who got the young brother that you're talking about, he went to a school that our student minister here in Austin actually principals for. So it's definitely close to home. Yes, sir.
Yes. Wow. There is a need for the work. There is a need for the work.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Well, thank you for sharing that. So, Brother Reginald, you and Sister Christina will have some of your team members on with us?
Not at the moment because they're all responding to another case right now. So I'm pretty much going to do this one solo because they're
fantastic. Man, with those types of conditions that's happening, thank you. Thank you for carving out that time to join us. So let's bring on, we have two of our health practitioners with us today, Brother Reginald. We have Sister Shireen, you want to bring up Sister Betty? Are you able to bring up Sister Betty?
Yes, sir. Yes, give me a moment. I was working on another thing.
Understood. Multitasking. That's what Sister Shireen does. If y'all didn't know. See, it's so funny. Sister Shireen just sitting there with that smile, and
she does a wonderful job too, bro.
Man, she's doing like 22 things at one time. You don't know it because you can't see her hands. She got the camera position where you don't. She's working that out, texting. We all texting each other.
Multitasking.
Oh my God!
Praise be to Allah. Great. Excellent. So anyway, so we have to bring up our dear Sister Betty. Sister Betty Muhammad Ali. You know, she is a registered nurse in the critical care area. She's been a registered nurse in critical care for over 25 years. She is a mother of 4, married for 39 years. She has a book called Nursing Your Marriage. Must get. It is a must get. You know, it's good to hear from someone who actually knows. You know, I could tell you about marriage a thing or two, but this sister can really tell you. So, you know, she has 39 years of experience. She is the founder of Compassionate Nurses since 1990, which is a nonprofit holistic health education community outreach organization, 501c3. She is a self-published author of Nursing Your Marriage, a relationship communication tool, which is on Amazon.com. And, you know, I heard her at a fair that we were at this weekend speaking about how the book, and I can bear witness to this fact, how the book even assists her in her own marriage. Well, her husband is like, okay, we got to pull a book out. Let's go to this chapter and let's read this point, you know, and it was helpful to resolve a situation in her own marriage. So that is beautiful. Because as a writer, a lot of times you are writing and Allah is writing through you, and you know, but it's for you as well as others. And so when you go back and read it, it's like, oh wow, I needed that. Like I wrote that. Oh, praise be to Allah. What a blessing. You know, so you can get that Nursing Your Marriage on Amazon.com. She is the founder of Family Life Center since 2012, and that is a community resource center for youth education and business incubator. So she is working with the youth, helping them to develop and grow, giving them a safe place to come. You know, if you go to the Family Life Center and you're sitting there with her, there's a child knocking on the door trying to get in, you know, and she welcomes them into the center, and that's in Decatur. She is the coordinator of the 9 ministries at Muhammad's Mosque number 15B in College Park, Georgia. Sister Betty is my sister, our sister, and we're going to bring her in so that we all can hear from her. We just need her to turn her camera landscape.
Oh, no. we had this discussion. Didn't we have this discussion?
I did not.
Swear you did, because I
I
didn't.
did.
Ma'am,
No,
you're in
turn the
full
camera.
control of
Just turn
you're
the
in
camera.
full
Just turn your
control of
phone.
your
Oh my
Turn
God.
your
device,
phone.
ma'am.
Landscape your phone. There you go.
Keep turning.
It was
Keep
landscape
turning.
the whole time. Oh my
No.
God. I do have it like that.
Turn it
Okay.
again. Just turn it. Just turn the whole thing. Not there you
There
go.
we go.
Absolutely fabulous. You worked on that thing, girl. Look at you.
She
Girl,
looks like
we
you,
have the
Shireen.
same color.
Oh, y'all coordinated, huh?
Yeah,
Y'all
they
coordinated.
No, but we didn't even plan that. So praise be to
That is
Allah.
beautiful.
In the house. Go
Yay, yay.
Sandy.
Sister Sandy, she's giving you the greetings, beloved.
Oh, assalamu alaikum. How are you, beloved?
My Lord, Grace. Yes, ma'am.
So beautiful. Always phenomenal to have you on the show with us.
Just a reflection of you, my beloved sister.
Praise be to Allah. Welcome.
Welcome. I love you.
Yes.
Yes.
Sister Betty, I don't know if you heard us talking to our brother Reginald Muhammad out of Austin, Texas. He's with the 10,000 Fearless Emergency First Responders team, inner city team in Austin, Texas. Were you able to hear what he was talking about? One of the situations that they're dealing with there.
Yes, I did, sir.
Okay, wonderful. Yes, they have been our special guest co-host. He and his wife, Sister Christina, all month. They're doing a phenomenal work. And listening to their organizational structure, I was thinking about you, what you have going on with the Compassionate Nurses Family Center in Decatur. I mean, a whole lot of activity is coming out of that center. How long have you had that center?
It's been about 6 years, brother.
6 years. What was the impetus behind you making that type of investment in the community? Because we've been there a couple of times. You invited us over, Sister Sandy, Sister Shireen, and myself, although Sister Sandy was out of town that particular week, but you invited us over to present. And it's a nice facility, and there's a lot of community things going on. So what was the major point behind you making that type of investment? And then over the last 6 years, that's a long time and a big investment that you've made in that community. What's the underlying theme for that?
Yes, sir. Well, first thing I want to say is that you guys are doing a phenomenal job. And every time I get on the show, you guys have improved 100%. So congratulations. Also, the brother.
All praise is due to Allah.
Yes, sir. With the brother with the situation, I'm gonna keep my prayers in for them over there. And
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
The first thing I want to say is that nothing would be possible without Dr. Elijah Muhammad, Honorable Minister Farrakhan, Master Farad Muhammad, to seek and save the Lost Foundation. I take credit for nothing that I'm doing. All of it comes from my processing class and my growth in the nation of Islam.
Wonderful. So, can you hear us?
Answer the question.
Yes.
Of course, I'm dying from a lack of knowledge and working in the hospital setting, mostly county hospitals with the poor. As the Bible states, if you do it unto the least of these, you've done it to me. And I noticed, as the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad has said, that our people were dying from a lack of knowledge. So that prompted Compassionate Nurses Family Life Center.
Fantastic. So is this something that you are involved in with yourself? You took the leap, or were you able to persuade and convince and pull together others of like mind in order to start that facility?
Yes, sir. I pulled together people of like minds. Sister Hadia Majid, she rents space for her domestic violence support group.
Yes.
Brother Ahmed rents space for his security company. Brother Harold rents space for his insurance company. As a lot of our young people pass away, they don't have insurance.
Okay.
In addition to that, we have a Saving Our Girls program in which we teach young girls about modesty and how to find their purpose in life. And Sister Nefertira, she does a sewing and a fashion with Essence of Beauty for the girls who come in on Sunday. So we all pulled together, and perseverance was not giving up, knowing that God was in charge, not me, walking on faith and not by sight, and just not quitting. So when the bills were due and we rented the space out, that allowed us to stay open. And then we have 2 free open spaces for all the workshops that we do, because we specialize in workshops. So that rental of space allows the space to stay open. So it was a investment, but it was a collaboratory investment.
Oh, right. Sounds great. You mentioned a lot of people there. That is fantastic. And I know at least 3 of those names that you called, and I know they're very strong community-oriented people. Sister Hadia, we met years ago. She had the Maida Food Bank. So she was doing that as well as bringing awareness of the domestic violence piece. And she's still going strong all these years later, still getting the word out. So from a business aspect of what you all are doing, one of the questions that I'm always interested in, and Sister Shireen and Sister Sandy and I talk about this all the time, because we're always looking for, as Sister Shireen mentioned, best practices that we can share with others. Getting the word out to the community about what you do. How do you all do that? How do you disseminate the information so people will know about the Compassionate Nurses Center?
Well, what we do is twice a year, we have a outreach, and then every month we have an outreach in which we adopt an apartment complex, and we go out and we take blood pressure checks, we give away clothes, we give away free food, and we have the children come down from the complex. We set up a table, they do arts and crafts, and they do agriculture things as far as, or for example, they may do plant some tomatoes. And I want to thank Sister Teresa because she helped with that. In addition to that, what we have at the Family Life Center, we incorporated the 9 ministries at 15B. So we'll all come together when we hit the streets in the community. And that's how we disseminate all that information.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. You said something I was about to, I lost my train of thought. Something that you just mentioned. I know you have a couple of events coming up. So prior to that, before you tell us about the event, we've been talking about your center. How does one get a hold of you to come and visit the center, come and rent out space for the center, come and participate in one of the programs at the center? How do they contact you?
They can contact us through email. The email is compassion at gmail.com, compassion107@gmail.com. In addition to that, we have a website, www.familylifectr, that's Charles Tom Rainbow, familylifectr.com. The website is there. It'll give you all the information what we're doing at the center. You can call me also at 404-587-0957.
Oh, well, wonderful. You mind repeating that phone number again?
404-587-0957. We are a nonprofit 501c3. So we're doing some Black Cross work.
Oh, wonderful. You know, I know what the question was I wanted to ask. But you've been in nursing for the last 25 plus years, and you talked about blood pressure. That's what the point I was getting to. Last year, I think it was, or early this year, I guess medical AMA, or whichever is the governing board, they changed the blood pressure normalcy reading from 120 over 80 to 130 over 90, I believe it was.
Should be over 80.
But they changed the number. They changed it where it was considered normal. And what I read was when they upped it, they lowered it. That's what it was, right? 120 over 80. Got it. It was 130 over, was it 130 over 90?
80.
But over 80. 85. But so what they said by doing that, though, it incorporated 14 million more people into the danger area of having high blood pressure. What's, from a medical perspective, what's your take on that? let me say this, sister, but let me be forthright what I'm getting to. Is this a move by pharmaceutical companies to get more people onto high blood pressure medicine? That's what I'm asking.
That's something that I would have to research. However, we just do our part that we can. We do a lot of blood pressure checks at the various malls in Atlanta and in Covington and in Stonecrest Mall. We'll go and set up blood pressure checks in the mall. And if somebody has a high blood pressure, we send them to the emergency room. However, Family Life Center, the workshops we do deal with high blood pressure and the food that is medicine to help you with your high blood pressure. I just want to put out there that diet plays a big part, stress plays a big part, and that exercising plays a big part. And you know, How to Eat to Live is the book that is the golden rule for getting your health in order. So I recommend
That's right.
But one thing you can do right away, people don't realize this. I need everybody who has a blood pressure situation out there, you want to let somebody know about a natural holistic avenue we can go, is to beat blood pressure or beat high blood pressure by juicing beets, B-E-E-T, juice your beets, and they are phenomenal for helping to reduce blood pressure. The other thing I noticed working in the ER and taking labs in ICU, the magnesium is usually very low, potassium is usually low. And that's from the food being GMO and not being as nutritious as it used to be, because it's, being bombarded with pesticides. So you want to find a farm or farmer's market that's close to your house or somewhere you can get your fruit and vegetable from. But go ahead and get your supplement in magnesium and potassium. Of course, bananas have potassium. Magnesium is important. So pretty much you can Google a lot of foods that are good for high blood pressure, natural foods that are good for stress. B12 is good for stress. So these are the things we teach at the workshops at the Family Life Center to youth and adults.
Beautiful information. Now, as Sister Shireen mentioned in introducing you, you have this is my word, a natural gift for working with youth. And I see you have two events coming up. So one is this month, next month, the month of October. I'm pushing it forward already. Then you have one in November. So please tell us about the event that you are planning for October, and then the one that you're planning for November.
Okay, for October, we're having our second annual Saving Our Youth Expo, in which we teach young adults and younger children ages 12 to 20. They focus on areas of finance, holistic health, career choices, finding your purpose in life, and law and order. So we have lawyers coming in to talk to the young adults throughout the workshop sessions, health professionals, financial people. As the youth are our future, we are trying and striving to change the minds and hearts of our young people, because they're the next generation. Now, November 3rd is not really solid or written in stone, but we're going to be appreciating some cancer survivors who have been unsung heroes and were able to make it through and persevere through their illnesses. One of the honorees will be our lawyer attorney, Sister Barbara.
Oh, wow. Yes, absolutely.
Wonderful educator. Yes, ma'am. A wonderful educator, Sister Wanda. And Sister Shireen, I think I need to include Sister Tracy in there. She doesn't know that yet. But please wait on further instructions on November 3rd, because we have the place, we have the venue, but we're still working on things, so that's tentative. But October 20th is a daytime workshop session, then we'll have a break, and then we'll have an afternoon workshop session. We've been getting a lot of good responses from everybody, just wanting to come in and help and all that other good stuff. So we thank God for that.
All right, well, fantastic. You sound pretty busy. And FYI, Sister Barbara Muhammad, the attorney, the people's attorney, is the special guest co-host for the month of October on Mind and Money Matters Live show. She's been with us since the beginning as our special co-host as we showcase the ministry of law and justice. So she will be with us, inshallah, live and in person next Monday October. What's the next Monday? October the 1st. October the 1st for our first show as we showcase the ministry of law and justice. And she, of course, can bring along some of her, big time friends, as she always do, to share the legal aspects with us. Those of you who are not familiar with Sister Barbara, just a darling, very loving person. She has helped so many people out in our community that have gotten into legal situations, and she is a legal mastermind. She has worked on several legal in the legal department for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, for the Nation of Islam. She's one of those people that is very brilliant. We love her dearly. And I didn't tell Sister Shireen and Sister Sandy this yet, but when that goes down, we've been asked to, they asked us to MC. So MC it. And I don't usually do too much community stuff without my partners. So I'm marking calendars for November the 3rd. Now I need to know real soon, Sister Betty, because I'll be coming in from out of town just for that. So if I don't have to come back, I'll stay. But I'm planning to come back in town just for that, because it is Sister Barbara.
Yes, sir. We will call
Sooner you let me know. I make those travel arrangements. Fantastic. Yeah. So, Brother Reginald, Sister Sandy, Sister Shireen, you have anything for Sister Betty before we bring up our next health practitioner?
Yes, sir.
I just want to. Okay, go ahead, Brother Reginald.
No, ma'am. You go ahead.
No, this is really quick. I just wanted to thank you for mentioning How to Eat to Live. To let our people know where to get How to Eat to Live. You can get it from Final Call. Is it store.finalcall.com or finalcall.store.com?
Yes, ma'am. That's
store.finalcall.com. Right. That's where you can get this book, How to Eat to Live. Absolutely life-changing. It is the book that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said comes directly from Allah and the person of Master Father Muhammad. So make sure you go to the Final Call store.finalcall.com. That's what it is. Store.finalcall.com. If you put in finalcall.com, you'll get to it. Just go click on the icon for the store. So that's all I wanted to say. Go ahead, Brother Reginald.
Yes, ma'am. No, what I was going to say is to the sister, and I'm very, very proud to hear what she is doing in Atlanta, correct?
Yes, sir. In Decatur.
Yes, ma'am.
Decatur and College Park.
Decatur and College Park. See, what we did was, one of the things about the 10,000 Fearless First Responders, a lot of people don't know, and we don't really talk too much about it, but we mirrored everything that Brother Sharif is doing in Atlanta here in Austin. But we've done what he's doing now on a smaller scale, because he's been doing it for a while and he has resources. Of course, he got gifts and talents as well, but we've acquired all of our knowledge from him, and we have actually took ministry from him during the family summit. And we actually drove down there and talked to him, and got a chance to get some guidance from what getting a bus and also getting a disaster preparedness home as well. So the 10,000 Fearless, when Brother Sharif got a bus, we said we need a bus, so we went out and bought a bus too. My Brother Sharif said he needed a 10,000 Fearless home. We are now inquiring about a 2-story home right now.
Come on.
The 10,000 Fearless. Actually, we just cut the ribbon on one in Houma, Louisiana. So I just like to say I commend the sister for doing the work that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has called us to do. But he also gave us our mission at the family summit. If those of us were around when he came walking through the bluff, I don't know how many of y'all was walking through the bluff or at the bluff. And sister, you might have been at the bluff when he came from the 10,000 Fearless house to the area in the bluff where we were handing out fruits and vegetables and also doing health screenings. He told the Ministry of Health at that time, he said that you are walking in the footsteps of Jesus. Because Jesus, he said he had never heard Jesus charge anyone to help them. It was me in the Ministry of Health there, and it was, of course, like I said, the sister might have been there, but it was a lot of believers from Atlanta that was doing a lot of health screening, which is the blood pressure, and giving people all their vital signs and stuff like that. And one of the things I took away from it is that we have to understand this work is a global mission.
Mm-hmm.
So of course we'll do it in our city, our state, and our town, but sometimes we have to start branching out and going to other countries. And that's one of the reasons why my brother Akbar, because brother Akbar is now outside of the country doing what we're doing.
Right.
I just wanted to commend the sister.
Beautiful. Well, good perspective. And with the other aspect of the community piece I want to mention too with Sister Betty is I remember walking into one of the departments at Hosea Helps at an event years ago. All of us work with a local organization here, Brother Reginald, called Hosea Helps. It's a 48-year-old institution in Atlanta that is a staple here. They do provide all of these services to those that need it. And Sister Betty and her team was right there. I didn't even see them come in the building, but they were right there doing what she's talking about doing. So that was always good to see them at these different events. So Sister Betty, please don't go anywhere. We're about to bring up our next guest. So if you are able to, please stay around. If you all have questions, please do. But before, please give your information again about how one can contact you. And I know you're not relegated just to Atlanta, right? If somebody want to bring you to Sacramento and talk about what you do and help them set up, you're willing to do that, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So how can they get a hold of you?
They can reach me at 404-587-0957, or they can email me, which is better, at compassion107@gmail.com. And thank you guys so much for having me.
Oh, thank you for accepting the offer.
Thank you. Always a pleasure having you on, Sister Betty. Always.
Thank you, Sister Sandy.
Sister Betty, can you repeat that number once again?
404-587-0957. And the website for the Family Life Center is familylifectr.com. That's Charlie Tom Rain. And you can see all the things we do at the center. And in addition to that, we have the How to Eat to Live book at the Family Life Center bookstore.
That's right.
Excellent.
Beautiful.
So that's 404-587-0957, 404-587-0957. And you can go to Family Life Center, CTR for center, familylifecenter.com to get more information on the Family Life Center. And she has the book. If you need to get it in person, you're in the Decatur area, go straight to the Family Life Center in Decatur to pick up your copy of How to Eat to Live. That's it right there, How to Eat to Live. And then we definitely want to give accolades to our dear brother Abdul Sharif Muhammad, who was the trailblazer, pioneer, forefront, vanguard, standing, being the one to stand out there and take the instruction of Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and make his word flesh. So he is the first to run out and get the 10,000 Fearless House to set up what they call it? What did they call it? A beachhead in the Bluff.
Absolutely.
Yes, and make it a safe and decent place to live. He has the Blue Seas takeout restaurant. There are some dining tables there, like I think 4, so it's a small, you can still eat in if you would like, but it's considered a takeout restaurant, and the food is phenomenal and also affordable. So they have dollar size, like where can you get a dollar size, y'all? Like you get a scoop of green beans, you can get
spinach, macaroni and cheese,
mac and cheese,
carrots,
brown rice, cabbage.
So
and there's and the community
farina bread.
The community is in there getting those hot meals at $1 a side, so you can get a nice plate for $5. I don't know where else you can get that at, and that's Blue Seas takeout what is it called? Takeout catering or something. I think it's called takeout catering. But if you look up Blue Seas and a Bluff on Joseph E. Boone, you can get to that location. And the 10,000 Fearless House is on the same street, Joseph E. Boone, in Atlanta, Georgia. And
yes, ma'am. I just wanted to add this as well. Don't forget about your own grocery store as well.
That's right. Your own grocery store.
All of them in close proximity to each other.
Excellent. Yes, that's where you can get your fresh fruits and vegetables at your own grocery store. Okay, so let's go.
Do you have
ready to bring? Yes, they're ready.
Do you have the information? I don't have access to pull anything up.
Oh, okay, yes, sir. Hold on. Bringing them in and okay, so we are bringing up our dear brother Hassan Muhammad. Now, Brother Hassan has been in the healthcare business since 1996, starting with an increased desire to do more to help his community. And now, if you know 1996, that's a year after the historical event on the mall, the Million Man March, which occurred in 1995, and that's Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan speaking the word, asking or requesting a million. He just blurted it out. He said he wanted to snatch those words back, like, oh my God, 1 million men, how I'm gonna do that? But he just went out on faith and got nearly 2 million men. So that is to date the historical event on the mall in Washington, D.C. in 1995. So our dear brother Hassan was inspired from that day to go into healthcare. He started shortly after the Million Man March by attending medical assistant school. So he didn't start big and grand. He went to an assistant school. While working as a medical assistant, he went back to school for emergency medical technician. So he just took another step. He climbed from here level, went up one, went up another one. So these are things that you can do depending on where you are in your progress, right? And then so he got the technician, still not satisfied. In having the desire to do even more, he went back again, this time to nursing school. As a nurse, he initially worked in a county jail, but most of his career has been in critical care, ICU, and emergency department. He has worked in critical care for 14 years. While seeing the limitations of the modern medical model to heal the same community that brought him into healthcare, he now splits his time between being an educator in the emergency departments and a practitioner of an alternative health modality called Essence Feedback. This is bringing about great results by way of assisting the body to healing. He serves as the Students Ministry of Health local coordinator here in Atlanta and assists with the healthcare direction of the 10,000 Fearless House. He currently lives in Stockbridge, Georgia with his beautiful wife, Zenobia, who is the owner of MOST standing for the Ministry of Science and Technology Services, a full service accounting and tax service, and 2 beautiful children, Amir and Sarah. Let's welcome our dear beloved brother Hassan Muhammad.
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Hassan.
Wa alaikum salam, family. How are y'all?
Oh,
wonderful. Oh, I'm just like I'm overjoyed over here, brother.
Yeah, this is South. I had to say y'all.
It's all good. In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, what bear witness, there's no God but Allah. You got me inspired.
Praise be to Allah. You got me inspired.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. Beautiful.
But yes, I do want to say that I appreciate you for having me on the show. This is definitely a show that can help our people in business, not just in business, but in spirituality, in connection, and I do appreciate the opportunity. I appreciate the guests that you have on. Oh my God, Sister Betty, really? Sister Betty. Man, she was in the Ministry of Health post when I came to Atlanta, and she was doing a phenomenal job then. And she has never stopped.
That's right. She hasn't.
And although I know she's been married a long time, which means that she's my senior as far as wisdom is concerned. Man, I don't have the energy she got. I'm telling you right now. But hey, praise be to Allah. And Brother Reginald, man,
she was at Greenbrier this weekend, brother, doing blood pressure checks.
Right.
There she was at Greenbrier Mall doing blood pressure checks. She hit me up, Sister Shereen, can you come over to the Greenbrier Mall? I'm like, okay, I'm passing through. I'm coming through. Let me stop by. I got some things in my trunk.
All right. And Brother Reginald, man, I appreciate what you're doing over there, bro. And really, the 10,000 Fearless started in Atlanta, but you are a model for the 10,000 Fearless throughout.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Being in the critical care and the emergency room as long as I have seen some things. And unfortunately, I've seen a lot of things when dealing with us as Black people. And matter of fact, before I start, can you hear me well? You can hear me?
Yes, sir. Coming through very loud and clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So in the emergency department, which is interesting because I started the medical field after being a Muslim already. I was a Muslim. I was on the corner every day, final call in Tallahassee, Florida, TLA. And the thing that's interesting about that is we, the Muslims, when we're out there every day on the corner with the paper, we dressed up, we're representing something, an alternative. So then I worked in a hospital in the ER as a tech, and I saw the other side. I saw the respect that they gave us, but I also saw when they came into the emergency department in the condition that they were in. And yes, I started after the Million Man March. Oh, yes, it was, I was there. I was on post, that was heaven on earth. But I've always desired to do more to help our people. And, being out there with the final call was, yes, as with the number one minister, but I want to help them physically too. So it was the medical field kind of drew me. And it was just a happenstance that I got into it actually at. But I became a nurse in the ER, and my whole desire for becoming a nurse was, God created man in His image and likeness. So Allah had a blueprint for man, and my desire was when that blueprint is corrupted or broken down, I wanted to assist Allah. I wanted to assist Allah in bringing back His creation to whole, to one again. So that was my thought of getting into the medical field. And I always wanted to work in the emergency department because that was the point. But working in the emergency department as long as I have, you see the limitations of modern medicine. I mean, it's symptomatology. You're treating symptoms. You're not really treating the individual as a whole. You're not really getting to the root of what the issue is. So I wanted to find something else. Something. It has to be something that can heal the person, heal the individual. Yeah, we can save a life. We can save a life physically. But that doesn't say anything about the quality of life after saving that life. You can get a heartbeat back, but if he's going to be in a nursing home in a bed and have to turn him and what's the
exactly?
What's the point? So and I wanted to heal the whole body, so I was looking for something else because there had to be something out there, and I came up on Essence Feedback. Now, there's a couple of names for it. It's kinesiology is one of the names for it, and also nutrition response testing is another name for it. By me utilizing that, I'm able to see actually what organs are not working optimally, and what whole food nutrients, or what's if it's not working optimally, there's a reason why. It could be something that's causing not to work optimally. It could be a chemical, it could be, you know, a scar, it could be some metals, because we're living in a toxic world.
Mm-hmm.
It could be some immune issue. You know, we have these latent bacterial and viral and fungus infections that we don't have yet manifest. So by me finding out, by me looking, see what the problem is with a particular organ, and finding out what actually the cause could be to that's challenging that immune system, I use whole food nutrients to kind of put the energy back into the organ, and the energy comes back. I do want to go back though. I want to talk, Brother Jahi.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned blood pressure.
Yes,
I wanted to say that before I said all this, but
okay, wonderful. I was going to ask you about that, get your perspective on that too. So yes, sir, go right ahead.
Now, it very well may be that, you know, because they're inching everything down. We're talking about cholesterol, they inch that down. So everything they're inching down as far as the parameters are concerned. However, we do need to be concerned about our blood pressure.
Yes, sir.
If you look in the communities, dialysis clinics are popping up, I mean, like everywhere.
It's three on every corner.
They're like churches.
Right across the street from the churches.
And not be negative, but, you know, it's just, but they're popping up everywhere.
Yes.
And if you look at the clientele, they look like you and me and us.
All of us, right.
You know, and I see them coming in all the time, you know, and we have no idea. You don't know how that being, if anyone knows or doesn't know about how dialysis is run, your blood is taken outside your body and put into a machine and filtered and then brought back into your body.
Wow. Talk about it. My wife's a dialysis technician. Talk about it now.
And that has an effect on the body, on the bones, on the cells, on the mentation, on everything, on the nutrients. It takes out a lot of nutrients. So our people are slowly dying, you know. And in the book, Torchlight for America, the Honorable Mr. Farrakhan, he said in there, diet is 68% of the deaths that we face. It's our diet. So that's why How to Eat to Live is very, it's timely and critical, yes, because we're on critical care right now. Our community is in critical care right now.
Yeah.
We have diabetes, high blood pressure. We have all kind of chronic respiratory issues. Not to mention mental issues nowadays. 6-year-olds, 9-year-olds coming into the emergency department with suicidal ideations. What is that? You know, we do have there's a big field awaiting the wide awake man and woman to work out in. And that's why I commend Brother Reginald for what he's doing. And but we all have much more work to do.
Right. You know, Brother Hassan, thank you so much. Let me say this. First off, I really do appreciate you having the ability to carve some time out. I know last year you were so busy, you were not able to make it on any of the shows. And, you know, thank God that you're able to do it this. And some of the things that you shared I appreciate that. I'm sure the listeners appreciate it too. So I want to say that. Thank you for it. And as you were talking, I'm thinking about all of you all that's on the show. Everyone on here are healers. You know, Sister Sandy has dedicated a lot of her time to that. Sister Betty, yourself, Brother Reginald, Sister Shireen, dealing with the psychological aspects. So this is the healing show, and all of you, fortunately, I know personally, and I know that you all are getting to the root. So I want to commend you on that, especially with the practice that you are talking about that you started with the company that you started. So how long have you been doing that, and how do one get in contact with you so that we can get one of those analyses and see what we're deficient in, so that we're able to begin to correct the deficiencies that we're dealing with?
Sure. I'll give you my information. First I want to say this, how important this show is when you're dealing with healers. When you're talking about healers, talking about healthcare, how important this show is. In the teachings of Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he gave us 4 laborers who worked with Yaqub.
Yes.
And of the 4 laborers, 2 of them, 50%, dealt with what we personally know as the medical field.
Yes.
However,
excellent point.
However, though, when there's a death in the hospital, all 4 laborers are present and accounted for. That's how significant this field that we're dealing with is. You know, because if we can get we're dealing with life and death. You know, so
right.
And there's a spiritual life in death, and there's a physical life in death, and they're parallel to one another. Yeah,
absolutely. You know, all of you all have mentioned being in the fields that you're in, particularly the medical field, and especially as long as you have been, and seeing quote unquote the other side. That and what I'm thinking about is that behemoth of an enemy. And if it sounds like I'm picking on him, I am. The pharmaceutical industry. We all know now that the pharmaceutical industry runs the medical profession. How what's the word I want to ask? How does that affect, and this is open to each one of you, how does that affect you and what you're doing, knowing that if you prescribe one thing, such as our diet, if we just ate better and the right foods, that will wipe away a lot of the diseases, but that's not what these people promote. And their pull right now seems like it's stronger than our pull to eat the right foods and ingest at the right times and those types of things. So how do you deal with that aspect, knowing that every day you got to get up and battle that particular enemy? And that's open to everyone on the panel.
Well, you're not necessarily dealing with the pharmaceutical company. You're dealing with a mentality. You're dealing with people who have 6,000 head start, 6,000 year head start, and training and conditioning in the people. I mean, I have patients that, you know, to get them to take a supplement, you know, is you know, it's not a pill. It's not a chemical pill, you know, and you have people, and so that kind of boggles the mind. A supplement can help you. A whole food supplement can help you. Yes, you know, but also you have those people who come into the emergency department who are expecting something because they've been trained that if you got a cough, you need antibiotics. If you have this pain, you need some pain medicine. You know, so it's a training, it's an education, that's what you're dealing with. You know, yeah, the pharmaceutical companies, yeah, they're pushing the physicians, and the physicians are pushing their meds a lot. But you're also dealing with a mentality, and and this is what we say, you're not dealing, it's not a physical enemy. It's a spiritual enemy. It's a mental enemy.
Right.
So you have to, like the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, and I think Our Savior Has Arrived, I believe it's Savior Has Arrived, talked about how the war would be the battle would be in the sky.
Right, absolutely.
We're dealing with an enemy that you can't necessarily put your finger on and say he's the enemy. It's the education. So you have black doctors, you have white doctors, you have whatever in between, and they're trained in a certain way. Now, a lot of them may not, you know, they may not. It's not a thing that they're doing on purpose. It's just education. You know,
it's what they've been taught. Right. It's back to that mentality, and they haven't been presented with an alternative, so a lot of them don't necessarily see anything wrong or how it is not actually healing. It's treating the symptoms, and in a lot of cases, you know, I'm always it's always interesting to me when you hear these new drugs or any type of drugs on TV that's being touted, and at the end of it, they name like 47 side effects, and all of the side effects are worse than whatever it is if they're telling you that it's supposed to help with. Like, wow. And 85% of the people fall for the okie dope. So I think that's the battle that we have is breaking that psychological chain, as Naeem Akbar, Dr. Naeem Akbar talked about, the psychological chains in order to show that there is a alternative, there's a better way to get to the root.
Yeah, and a lot of it is vanity, also, bro.
Oh wow,
a lot of it is vanity. There was to your point, there was a drug that they talked about on TV that was for acne. And after they finish, they go through the list of things that you look out for.
Right.
Yada, yada, yada.
Right.
Man, who would take that? And I thought about this is a vain world we live in. This is,
right.
They want to look pretty. They don't want any blemishes. They want smooth skin. I mean, people there's a report, and I don't know how true it is. I'm just, but about Nicki Minaj, that she's having health issues now.
Yes, sir.
Because of the injections.
The injections, right.
So, we have to understand whose world we in. And most of our people don't know whose world we live in. They don't know that Satan rules this world. They have no clue. So the healthcare, the educational system, you name it, they have they set up the structure. So it's up to us to know better, to do better, and set up something better for them.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
I would like to add something as well.
Sure.
But I would also like to add that oftentimes we have to understand that it's more on the patient side than it is on the doctor side, because our people are miseducated. For the lack of better words, they are definitely miseducated in this, and we got to understand that Black people, what we do is we go off of the mindset of this is what my grandmother used to take, or this is what my grandmother used to eat, and that mindset has been killing us for years. But in that, it's not even just about the medication; it's also about immunizations as well.
Yes, sir.
There's something that you can do. Like, most people don't know you don't have to get your children shots to be, quote unquote, put in public school. Right. So, our people just follow what the mass public put out. And the scripture says, I did nothing but call and you came. We have to understand that, it's our fault, but for lack of better words, we have to get educated on not only just immunizations, medication. We're talking about just health as a general, but just medical information as a whole. We have to get, we have to get better on. And I would say that to say this, one of the things about the 10,000 Fearless First Responders, we have a manual that talks about a lot of that stuff. And it has in there, it says important documentations that you would need in a time of disaster. Reason why that's there, because you need vital information during the time of disaster, because if you ever seen a disaster such as Hurricane Harvey, or Hurricane Florence, or Hurricane Katrina, medication is hard to come by. Food, water, shelter is hard to come by. So if your grandmother, your aunt, your uncle, your father, your baby, for the most part, don't have their medication in advance, then that is a likelihood that they will pass away on the street or on a park bench or something, because they don't have what they need. So oftentimes we just need to we have to be educated in what we're doing, and that's why, like I said, I commend the sister, because she said that she adopted an apartment complex. Well, the 10,000 Fearless First Responders, adopted an apartment complex too. So all of the things that the brother is talking about, we bring that knowledge to the apartment complex.
Beautiful.
Why? Because we want to give you all the information that you will need. So when it comes down for either a disaster, or just registering your child in school, or you just going about your day-to-day life, at least we can say the blood is off our hands.
Thank you. Excellent point. Let me throw this out here. I'm trying to see how I can tie this in. But you mentioned the recent hurricane, Brother Reginald, Hurricane Florence last week in North Carolina. Did you all see?
Yes, sir.
Where there, and the question I'm asking is, what are some of the ramifications we can see coming down the pipe? There were 3.4, according to their numbers, 3.4 million chickens that drowned.
Yes, sir.
5,000 hogs that drowned.
Yes, sir.
But this is the part that I saw too that is just totally disgusting. They have these cesspools where the manure from the hogs or the hog farm are stored, but they were breached.
That's right.
So it mixed in with everything else.
That's right. That's right.
So that in itself was catastrophic. But what's coming down the pipe with all of that junk mixed in together and these dead chickens that I don't put nothing past these folks. These brokers are going to buy them up, repackage them, package them up, whatever they have to do to put it on the market. They're not just going to let that much chicken go to waste. So we've been told to get off meat vehemently from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, especially at Savior's Day. I think, brothers and sisters, now is the time.
Absolutely.
So what are your perspectives on that particular aspect of what we're going to see after the disaster?
Well, I would say simply this. One of the things you described was very, very horrifying. But let's take it a step back. One of the things about water. If anybody on the phone, anybody on the call have been in a flood, one of the things about water, it doesn't care where it goes. Mm-hmm. Once it starts flowing, it's flowing. And it's cold and it's nasty. I've been in a flood out here, and we serviced Hurricane Harvey. But what you talked about is the feces and also the dead animals as well. But we're talking about dead animals, feces, and also dead bodies. Mm-hmm. Now, before you can actually even think about it like this, before you can actually talk about the food that's going to be probably processed through that, or before you can talk about servicing someone's home or medication or anything like that, think about the lives that are walking in that water, mm-hmm. trying to get to safety. Yes. Mm-hmm. Think about the people that have to transport their loved ones in a refrigerator, in a boat, in some kind of broken down car from point A to point B. I seen something that was heartbreaking to me. A brother and his wife and his little son, he was transporting his wife in a deep freezer. Mm-hmm. He was in the water, but she was inside the deep freezer, and he was pulling it mm-hmm. towards the actual bank. Mm-hmm. Now, I say all that to say this. One thing about hurricanes, when they push all that water in, you have the sewer system.
Yeah, yeah.
You have all these things that get into the body. And we're talking about, we don't want to get vulgar, but we're talking about private parts and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
If I'm just a regular homeowner and I don't know anything about disaster preparedness, I'm not going to have a wetsuit on me automatically for me to get out of the way and go to the shelter or whatever. So I'm going to have to tread the waters. In that, then that's when you get all your diseases and so on and so forth. So, of course, you can't fathom the depth of Satan in his whole mindset, man. So, the people just have to be notified in, when you buy your home, when you buy your apartment complex, is it a floodplain? Do you have flood insurance? Those are the things that you have to know, because when something like that happens, if you have a flood in your area, what are you going to do in a time of need like that? And as far as the food is concerned, we already know that the devil don't do what he do, but that's one of the things about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. What he teaches us is not only do he teach us what to eat and what not to eat, but he also teaches us, and the minister backs him up, on what to store in our homes.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Those are things also we have to bring to the community, because if I have enough stock food in my house, I necessarily don't have to go to the corner store, H-E-B or Walmart or any kind of store to get what I need. I have everything here. Right. So we have to understand that our people, at the end of the day, man, our people just have to be taught aright, and then the way they can think aright.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Fantastic one. Sister Sandy, did you have a question before we close out or a comment about everything that's going on?
I'm just tremendously excited that we are coming together, as you say, brother Jahi. You know, all of us on the line are in fact healers in one form or another. And even you yourself, I know you didn't include yourself, but you teach the art of communicating in all of these disasters. If we, no matter what skills we have, if we don't have the art of effectively communicating the information in a manner that can be understood by that one that we're communicating with, none of this stuff is going to be useful. So every single aspect of this is very integral to what it is that we're doing. And we're wanting to make sure all of the participants on the line, make sure you will get this link. Make sure you pass this link on your social media pages. We have to get this out. We're seeing it, you know, in other places. It is coming to our front door as well. So,
Right,
you know,
right.
let's continue to have conversations like this. Sister Betty doing phenomenal work in the community as she always have. Just continuing to do what it is that we do to the best of our ability, and pray that when that time comes, we all are prepared. I love all of our guests. I appreciate you on the show, but that was it for me, just to say that
All right,
little piece right
wonderful.
there.
Now,
Wonderful.
Sister Betty, turn your phone again. When you came back in, you got to turn your phone. You like this.
What are you doing
All right.
now?
Sister Shireen, any comments or questions? And
Oh,
before we close
phenomenal.
out, we want to get everyone's contact information again, because we want those that are listening to this program to reach out to each one of these dynamic guests and partake of what it is that they have to share, so that we will have not just information, but we begin to implement it, which is the knowledge and the understanding part of it. So yes, Sister Shireen.
Oh, absolutely. I just want to thank everyone for coming on. I think the show has been phenomenal. I know it's beneficial. It's beneficial to me as a reminder, make sure I'm re-upping, even those of us who have a stockpile, we want to make sure we check our dates and we recycling, particularly, even with water, you can recycle your water to let it be toilet water or sewer water that you would need. You're still going to need that as well. And then get new fresh water so you can stay up and fresh, as well as with your foods and things like that. You have to keep recycling. So this has been absolutely phenomenal. I think one of the biggest things that stands out for me is the mental health, as somebody mentioned earlier with the young people coming in with suicide ideations. There's even young people carrying out suicide in record numbers. That is absolutely astonishing. So we must take time as adults to listen to our children. We mentioned this last week when we are dealing with the health and human services. And this month is a quote unquote suicide awareness month. Don't take it lightly. Our children are legitimately depressed. I mean, there's so much around them that brings their energy and emotional tone down, with horror movies and these horrific video games. All of these things are bringing the emotional tone down that is making our children feel like, okay, maybe I just need to end it. So let's listen to them. Let's raise their tone. Let's listen to happy things. Let's get back to being happy, y'all. Help our children learn how to laugh and smile and have a good time. Put them in bright, colorful colors, and put these things around their room. Everything has an effect on the mind. So let's get back, mothers and fathers, into the science of creating a beautiful, uplifting home.
Wonderful. Sister Shireen, may I dovetail on that real quick? And thank you for bringing that up.
Yes,
and it came across me. A couple of weeks ago, we had Brother Ryan X. Bosley on the show, and he talked about he's working with youth. And he had a big event in Marietta, Georgia week before last. And he talked about on the show how there was a young man that he came across And he knew by, I guess, mannerisms and things like that, that this young man had thought about committing suicide. Now, the thing was, the mother had no idea. So what I encourage, implore all of us to do, we have youth, whether it's our children, nieces, nephews, the neighbor, talk to the children. Find out what's going on with them. You know, I a few years ago,
Even I want to. Can I just interject
sure,
this?
sure,
Even
sure,
more
sure.
than talking to them, listen to them.
Listen, right, absolutely, absolutely.
Hear
That
them.
is
We
that
get
is
to
the
the point
biggest.
that we doing. This is a talk show, so we
Yes,
talking. But when
yes,
you have a child in your space, listen to them
that's
because they are telling you what's going on with them. But we have to take time to listen.
absolutely excellent. Thank you for mentioning that because as Sister Sandy mentioned, that's the area that I've uh, practiced over the last 22 years, and listening is a bigger piece of communicating than anything else. We overlook that. Listening is. And so, yes, talk to them and listen to them without judgment. Listen to what they're going through, what they have to say. That way, we're able to give them the guidance that's needed to maneuver through the world that they're going through. You know, I admit this. I was uh, devolved of a lot of things that's going on. Like I was doing some high school assemblies a few years ago, traveling around the country, speaking at. I think I spoke to like 200 high schools between 2010 and 2012. And one of the things that kept coming up was about cyberbullying. I could not relate to cyberbullying because I'm thinking, man, it's somebody, some anonymous person behind a computer screen somewhere else. But these children were taking it seriously, and there were a few of them that committed suicide because of being cyber bullied. So it is real. That's the point I'm making. It's real. So talk to your children, talk to the youth around you, and as Sister Shireen said, listen to them. I felt that I needed to bring that out. I don't know where that came from, but it needed to be said, and there we said it. So yes, Sister Betty,
Yes.
as you also please give us your contact information again as you make your comment.
Oh, I just want to say that everybody had really, really good points. And I think this show is so, so, so important. And I want to encourage all of us, including myself, to try to see if we can get this aired on the stations in our county. DeKalb County has a TV station. Fulton County has a television station.
Make it happen.
Yeah, we need to Google, all of us, wherever area we're in, to find out that station, and this show needs to go on that station.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sister Betty. I like the way you think.
That's just a suggestion. It's a public station, and if
Right,
I get a copy of this, if I can get a copy, I know you have it copied, I'm going to contact them and let them view it and ask that they show this, because this needs to really go to a broader audience, because what you guys are doing is phenomenal. So my telephone number is 404-587-0957. The Saving Our Youth Expo, or Saving Our Youth Expo, excuse me, is October 20th from 11 to 4 at the CAB Conference Center on the college campus. And I'm so happy we brought up disaster preparedness, because I'm going to make sure I include that in as a bending table.
Fantastic. Thank you, man. We really appreciate you. Brother Hassan.
Praise be to Allah. Thank you again for the opportunity to be on your show. My contact number is 678-209-1682. And my email is healthy systems. That's healthy, HEALTHY systems, SYSTEMS healthy systems group, healthy systems group @gmail.com.
Fantastic. And do you have an event or a speaking engagement or community service coming up, Brother Hassan, that the community can come out and support you on?
Not as yet. We are working for something. We're working on a project for mental health.
Wonderful.
Sister Shreem said, because
Wonderful.
that's one of the things that I've noticed, and I've been to other communities, and they've witnessed a lot of their members are having some mental health issues. So that's something we're working on for them.
Okay, fantastic. Make sure you let us know about that, so we'll be glad to do what we can from our perspective to help get the word out about it. All right. Oh, brother Reginald, man, what I don't know what we're gonna do next week without you. You can still call in. You know, please tune in.
Yes, no question about it. Like I said before, we actually set this up. Remember, I told you I'm always listening to the show. I'm always sharing the show
Yes,
because
you do. He is absolutely right. Brother Reginald hit me up every week with something.
Absolutely.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Yes.
And see, one of the reasons why we did that because our late great entertainer. You know, this is the thing of hip hop heads. If you're out there, our late great entertainer said this. We're talking about Tupac Shakur. He said that one of the things the black people need, the African American community need, is a platform to stand on to where they can actually get their information out. And shows like this, shows like the one Brother Rudolph is on, is called Black Hole Radio. Shows like that is always important because our people, even shows like Cliff Kelly's show, the one the middle was fair. Shows like that are always important. Why? Because our people, if they can't, oftentimes people don't want to come out of their household. So if you don't want to come out of your household, all you got to do is sit down and put your laptop on and hear and listen and learn things that we are teaching and training the people over social media. And that's one of the things that the devil don't really understand. They try to take social media away, but we're giving it to them live and in color sometimes, sometimes ground zero. If we on the actual site and talking about disaster preparedness or doing blood pressure screenings on the actual community's soil or whatever. But I would like to just say this. The sister bear witness to what the Honorable Minister Farrakhan told us a week ago when he talked at the church. He said that millions, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told him years ago, billions of water were going to drop on American soil.
Sure did.
Then Brother Ishmael said it the following Sunday. He said that the soil is being curtailed. That's what I'm saying. The soil is being curtailed, which means it's shifting and moving. So when it does that, once the earthquakes happen, then it's going to crack and crumble. So we don't actually understand what Allah is doing in each area. We have fire sometimes on the West Coast, water on the East Coast, in Canada. And of course in Texas, we got the heat. This thing is really going down. The fall of America is one of our tools that we go off of. But I would just like to say this, our people need to learn the knowledge. So the 10,000 fearless first responders, what we did is we took the shoulders of our minister, our messenger, our savior, and now we're coming to a city near you and training you how to survive in a time of disaster. We are certified to teach and train you search and rescue with deep water rescue, swift water rescue, CPR, all the above. Why? Because in a time of disaster, if you don't know it and your baby's in need, then that's vital information. So I'll leave this. Our manual, the 10,000 Fearless First Responders manual, is very, very key. Because if you study these things, a lot of things that are happening in our communities, in our areas, that can be halted if you study and apply this to your neighborhood.
Beautiful. Sister Shireen is holding up her copy
of
the training manual.
That's good.
Yes, and it is packed. I mean, it is packed with information. It deals with medication. It deals with your personal kit, your survival kit. It talks about the different disasters, man-made and natural, so you can know the difference. I mean, absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much for putting this book together. It talks about managing your water. It talks about managing your food supplies, farming and survival, basic first aid kit. I mean, these are just basic things that we always had. I remember with my grandparents having witch hazel and alcohol and having peroxide and ointments and things like that. Like, I think that has gotten lost, when we went into, we got to work now as women You know, we have to have equality, and I get it. We don't want to be in the backdrop. We don't want to be, you know, second-class citizens. You know, the Nation of Islam, the nation don't rise no higher than the woman.
That's right.
That's what we're taught. So the woman is someone that's respected and protected, you know, and that's the teaching to spread out to everyone, because the woman is Allah's workroom. It's where he does his work to recreate, you know, the population. So we are vitally important. And if we're out there working, we're not in the home. We don't know what's in our medicine cabinets. We don't know what's in our storage. We don't know what's in our canopies. We don't know what's in our pantries. We have no idea what's going on in the home. And so it takes one day and we wiped out, and the children are left hungry. So let's get your training manual. How do they get this? You know, we are already at 8:04. We're gonna shut this down. How do they get this right here? And then this, we must talk about this. Pardon me, beloved. And this is the Ways to Happiness, the Inner City Emergency Response Team, Ways to Happiness, courtesy of the is it the org in your city?
It's the Inner City Emergency Response Team with 10,000 Fitness First Responders. That is our book. We put that out because we're doing a community forum, and we wanted people to see how the Way to Happiness books would change their lives overnight if they just apply it. But then you can get the book by contacting me at 512-773-7358, or you can contact Sister Christina Muhammad at 512-450-2411. That's 512-450-2411. And yes, ma'am. And also we're coming up with rest of the events was October 16th. As you can see, that picture that you're showing, that picture is a CERT training class we got October 16th. We have another class October the 4th, and we're going to do it in Mach 45. That will Abdul Halim Muhammad, and we're going to teach them a little thing or two. So we're going to be in our regional city. And then also we're coming to a city near you, which is Atlanta. We're coming to Atlanta. We're working out the details right now to come in your city. And we're also coming to San Diego. So we teach our people all the man-made disaster trainings.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
I am done and ready to sign out. How we doing?
All right, let's do this. Oh, real quick before we sign out, somebody had just texted. I couldn't read it all, but they asked about the Sister Sandy mentioned the communication skills. I do have 2 private events coming up in October, but if you call, I can put you on the list and you can come in. I'll be in Atlanta speaking at a college on October the 1st, next Monday, 9:00 a.m. But I can, if you email me at Falah Worldwide, that's FALAH Worldwide at yahoo.com. Let me know that you're interested in coming, and I can put you on the list and let the organizers there know that you're my personal guest. And then October the 8th, the following Monday, I will be in Washington, D.C. speaking to some salespeople, real estate brokers, and I can do the same thing. So if you're in the DMV area, Monday, October the 8th, if you're interested in coming to the communication skills workshop, I can put you on my personal list, but just email me at falahworldwide at yahoo.com and let me know that you're interested, and we'll work out the details. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for you all tuning in. You know, this just gets gooder and gooder. And Sister Betty, we're gonna follow up on you. You're gonna take us national. You're gonna take us national to the TV platform. Because every week we had these dynamic guests, and we had allotted 90 minutes, and here we are at 124 minutes. Allah is the best knower. You know, information is that needed to be out. So, having said that, thank you all.
Got a couple of shout outs before we leave.
Yes.
Without our listening audience, we would not be at almost 3. Let's see, over 3. Let me see, what's that number we shared last week, Sister Shireen? We are over 200,000 shares from these programs that we've been doing. This number is by leaps and bound. So I just want to give a couple of shout out to our listeners tonight. Sister Dora Muhammad, Sister Lisa Muhammad, Brother Robin, Sister Robin, Sister Shirley Marie. Oh my God. And they're constantly making notes. So some of the things that we bring up is because they are talking to us during the show. We love our listening audience. We thank you so much for listening in. Sister Anissa, who is a part and responsible for our social media, she's tweeting. You know, we got to bring the young people in so that we are touch with getting this information out, not to those of our age, but to every single generation that is existing. They know that they can tune in and get this valuable information. And then the very last thing, Brother Jahir, you made me remember. I will be at a Taste of Wellness. We're talking about in the community. I'll be at a Taste of Wellness September the 30th, and it's going to be at the Cadwell Farms in Union City. So many healers. Brother Hassan, if you're available, I think it'd be phenomenal for you to bring your kinesiology out there and share what it is that you're doing. You can hit me up at soulwisdom2@gmail.com for more information, or you can also go to our social media pages, Master the Science of Business, Soul Wisdom, INTL page, and you can pull up all this information. Love you all. Thank you again. Have a phenomenal evening.
All right.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Wa alaikum salam.
And I definitely want to make sure that you pre-order your copy of Little Sweet Khadijah. She is coming out October 16th. You can get your pre-order of the limited edition of Little Sweet Khadijah. Just go to agrachild.com. That's agrachild.com and secure your copy of Little Sweet Khadijah.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Praise be to Allah. Thank you again.
Praise be to Allah.
Assalamu alaikum. Next week.
Wa alaikum salam.
Ministry of Law and